That's quite key.
Air conditioning for events and for us is obviously critical. So, you know, we've got quotes back for that. That's fine. But the building work itself, the building of the 2 studios, the cinematic studio, we're putting a paint studio in, which we'll also be filming content in, as well as the bar. So it's very exciting. The lighting layouts and stuff. So I've done all of the lighting. We've finalized what the bar's going to be like as well. So I might see if I can get some mock-ups done. I can put that in a video for you guys, which should be really cool. But yeah, it's the money's already being spent. We're working with an architect who's doing all of that for us now. And hopefully we can get some quotes back from builders within the next couple of weeks. And then if we're really lucky, fingers crossed, the actual building will start, I hope, within the next 4 to 6 weeks. That is ambitious because builders are very booked up, particularly in the area we are, I'm assuming, pretty much all over the UK right now. Like, everyone seems to be building. So they're inundated with work, but hopefully we can get a firm that is able to take it on, because it's not actually a massive job once they get started.
Don't say that!
I know. It's like, once they get started, it shouldn't take a tremendous amount of time. I'm still hopeful that we will get in by the end of this year. But again, full transparency, it might be that we're not in till next year. Might be that we have to wait till January. But you're still going to see the benefits. As I said, I've already started upgrading the cameras. I'm already looking at upgrading other equipment. So there's going to be lots of benefits that you're going to see almost immediately, which is cool. But look, that's where we're at right now. So we did say that there would be, with the 4th, if we hit £140,000, there would be another army added that we would get commissions, and we would be able to start to upgrade our equipment to be able to shoot 4K. There's a lot of technical stuff that goes into that. We can technically shoot 4K already, but we can't do it in an efficient way where we'd be actually able to import it and edit it in a reasonable time. So I'm looking at getting these decks that will help us do that. So we are towards that goal. It's going to cost more than I thought, but I'm going to try and implement that before we even move to the studio. So what that will mean for you guys is you get an even crisper image. We'll still be outputting at 1080, but we'll be able to do punch-ins and like show you sections of the board in real crystal clarity, whether you're watching on your TV or your phone.
You'll be able to see the fear right in my eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. The super zoom-ins. So look, that's where we're up to now. I haven't decided on the 4th army yet. We might put it out as a poll.
I think that'd be cool. Hear what you guys
put it
think.
out as a poll. Perhaps you guys have some suggestions here in the comments.
What would you like to see?
You know, it doesn't have to be a Sigma army. It doesn't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be a 40k army either. We're going to have a little think about it, but would love to hear your thoughts. A Sigma army would make sense because we could fill another gap. But we have already committed to the Kharadron Overlords and to the Idoneth Deepkin as well. So I don't know if there are any questions out there in the interwebs or any comments. I'm happy to hand it over to you guys, and Mr. Beard will voice your thoughts to us.
Nothing specific at the moment, just lots and lots of people say congratulations, which is very, very kind indeed.
Thank you very much.
If you lot do have any suggestions of what army you'd like to see, please do put it in the comments. If you've got anything that wants to be read out loud or anything, any burning questions you have, just whack it in the super chat and we will get back to you shortly.
Yeah.
I think it's again, it's incredibly humbling, and we're so thankful for everything you guys have done with this. And I just think it's so fun to be able to immediately put that back into how we make and create content, and already like being able to up production value and just get stuff we wanted to have for ages and do really cool things with it.
Yeah, like we even that now we've got some new cameras now, and Beard can probably show you live, like he could cut to a different angle and show us, you know, what's happening here. So I mean, you're already going to have the benefits. And I think there were a couple of people who were sort of like, oh, are you going to be doing like live battle reports? I saw some comments. Honestly, that's not on the agenda right now. Yeah. We would like to be able to do more live shows like this. We will never change the way we do our battle reports in terms of the pre-recorded, because that's what we do. You know, we're not live battle report specialists. You know, you've got some really cool channels out there like Tabletop Titans and so forth that do live really, really well. And I think that, you know, they do it fantastically. I think what we do is that pre-recorded content. That's kind of our jam.
Yeah.
That's how we do
How we
things.
roll,
Doesn't mean
yeah.
we'll never do a live battle report for fun here and there, and we'll probably end up live streaming, things like top tables at our events. That's
cool.
where you'll get more
Yeah.
of a live experience. But even then, I'd like to record it, and then, because when you record something and then edit it after the fact, we can do all of the jazz with the music and the funnies, which you can't do in a live environment. It becomes something else. It's a different type of show, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, look, there's going to be lots and lots of cool things happening, but expect some more live shows.
Yeah,
Some
definitely.
talk shows that we can connect with you guys. But live battle reports will not be a thing. Certainly not in this studio anyway.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
Lots of people want World Eaters.
Really?
I mean, maybe sort of more towards like when the new ones come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chef says not Leagues of Votan. Chef's here.
Hey, chef.
You love the leagues, really, Chef.
Well, I can tell you, Fletcher is already. I've already got.
a plan.
Yeah, we've got a plan for the leagues as and when they drop. We've even got a scheme in mind for them.
Yeah.
So I don't know when they're going to drop, and I don't know how long it will take. I don't even know what kits are going to be released. So your guess is as good as mine. But when they are released, we'll try and hit them as quickly as possible.
Quick question from Organ UK. What's the plan for the current studio?
That's a good question.
Museum.
Museum. It will probably just become, like a garage again. It will become,
Get it back.
it will actually become, what it was supposed to be. It was always going to be a temporary thing here. Like when we first moved from London to Bath, it was very much, we're going to find this place that we can set up in as quickly as possible, get off the ground, and then we'll find a proper dedicated building, as soon as possible after that. And then what happened was COVID hit, and for 2 years,
speed bump, that one.
it was just really, really difficult. And it actually took, as well, because of COVID, a lot longer to actually finish the studio we're in. Technically speaking, the studio actually wasn't even finished until about 6 months ago now, believe it or not. We're still waiting on the door to be put in, still waiting on double glazing to go in, soundproofing on the door. So it was just lots and lots of delays and lots of things that happened behind the scenes. Another question, I think.
Quick question from Daniel Ebling, who's loving the moderator in the league games and the tactical insights in the game. Please keep it up after the league. Also, congrats on the campaign. So not really a question as such, but James has been doing a few of these intros. How have you found them? Do you enjoy doing them?
I really like doing them.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm asking this just so I can switch between my cameras.
Oh, nice.
Really slick.
Nice, yeah. I like that. Would you want me to look into one of the other ones?
Which one do you think's on?
This one?
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, good point. It's been really fun doing it. It's a slightly different way of presenting, because I guess we figured with the league, when we play games like on normal Tempest, it's like two friends playing a game of 40k. Whereas the league is, you kind of want that kind of sports element of these are opposing sides, and it's nice to have that neutral intro, so it sets up the sort of excitement around the game. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think it gets the competitive. I think it represents the competitive side well. But our brand of it as well. We're not top tier tournament players. Out of everyone here, I've probably participated in the most tournaments, I guess. But even then, like that was. Even to be fair, years pre-COVID, I remember just before COVID hit, like I went to the Bournemouth GT and I did play second with the Grey Knights. Did really, really well with them. And I had a plan I was booked in for 3 other tournaments, and I was going to hit the tournament circuit really hard again and drive to Grey Knights that year. And literally COVID happened. All of those events were cancelled. I was like, okay. But yeah, I think the league is what we think competitive should be like. I think faction locks.
fun, yeah. I love the faction
is the
lock
way
app
to
is-
do
I think
it.
is the way to do it,
I think it's much healthier for the game as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, another question.
Stuart Fields, so happy for you guys achieving such an amazing goal. Love donning my Lodge TT shirt for D&D sessions.
Yes.
Maybe some incredible D&D minis and terrain rather than adding another army for the usual systems.
Interesting.
Great suggestion, Stuart.
Interesting.
I mean, here's the thing. So I've actually got it. We've actually got an incredible terrain collection for
Yeah, I actually really like it,
D&D. I only started getting it in for the last few episodes of the last campaign, so you've only seen a little bit of it. You've also got well over 100 models. I think it might actually be closer to 150 models painted for D&D. And again, you've basically seen none of them. So we are primed for the next campaign to do it in a really, really special way with an even better format than what the last campaign was. So yeah, watch this space. But yeah, I mean, I'm always keen for looking for new D&D models. I'm actually really excited about the old world. That Games Workshop has, I mean, they've not previewed anything other than a few sketches on Warhammer Community, haven't they? But so cool. As and when that happens, which I guess will still be, maybe even years off at this point, I'm imagining that model range will make, one, I just want to play the old world anyway, so we'll probably start covering it on the channel. But two, but two, I think they will double up as great really fantasy cool. roleplay game models.
They've got that traditional fantasy element to them, which is really cool. Yeah.
Next one from Key Burgess. Thank you for the £50, Key Burgess.
That's thanks, mate. Appreciate it. And it's Kai Burgess, by the way. It's Kai.
What?
Kai. It's Kai. Yeah.
Kai?
Kai. Yeah.
Kai would like to see a Skaven army, please. That's his first ever one. Needs some representation back from 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see a proper old school Skaven.
Very much would like to see Skaven.
Yeah, I think just when they're all ranked up,
it's so
like
cool.
Obviously it's nostalgia. Don't get me wrong. Like we've started. I can reveal we have started filming Sigmar. In fact, your first game is coming out
quite soon.
Maybe even like just a couple of weeks away. It's not far away. Woohoo! Okay, so we've started filming, and I love Sigmar. Really enjoying it. But there is something about that rank and file.
It's like having big
the regiments,
masses of rats.
How they used to fight. Back in the day. It's sort of it just looks epic. Cool. So yeah.
Message from Brian Dambra.
Hey Brian, how are you?
Hey Brian.
Brian says, congratulations, you've been putting in the work and it pays off. Get an additional Drukhari army of all jet bikes and boards. Another idea would be to get some Forge pieces that you guys wanted. I think Jinx's new Drukhari army has got a lot
Be
of jet bikes and
right
boards.
up your street.
She's not played it. She's been like, I've got this new army, but I'm going to use it once.
I think she's due to film one with it. So she's actually got 36 Reavers.
I think
she's got like 40 Hellions.
Yeah, I think there might be, check it out on demand, there might even be a battle report with 36 Reavers in it.
Oh, nice. Okay,
which was terrifying to look across the board at. Just like, how fast do they move?
An all Skyboard Reaver.
It's really cool.
It just looks epic.
It's a wicked army.
Yeah, I've wanted to get a Coven army because I'm a Kabalite player really. That's always been the thing that I was drawn to with Drukhari. At some point I will get Fletcher to do like a Coven army, a Homunculus Coven army, which I just think would be really cool. But for now, yes, and some Forge World pieces, again, nice. Useful. Yeah.
A few more bits coming through. I'm just going to pick out some of the ones that aren't super chatting just because they're sort of trending, as it were.
Sure. Trending.
Trending inside this chat box. A few people just want to clarify what the final amount was for the lodge.
It was £140,075.
Just about broke it.
Just broke the
Do we know who tipped us over the edge?
I probably could. I can't reveal.
No, obviously not.
GDPR, but yeah, I could probably find out who that was. Yeah.
And then another comment from Alexis, the Rose Queen. Ah, yes, the Queen of Roses herself.
Queen of Roses.
Yes.
Roses.
Queen of Roses.
So Alexis says, will there be more opportunities to bring on more guests like Play on Tabletop? Also, you guys are always fun as Tzeentch demands it, so keep up. And also, lots of people asking for Tzeentch Demons in the comments as well.
Is that right? Okay.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Very interesting.
I'm down with that because we've got a nice little base that we can work from.
We do actually.
And they are cool, aren't they?
Okay,
cool, that's been noted. That's been definitely noted. Yeah, so we'll 100%. Part of the reason of getting a new studio is that we will be accepting guests much more regularly than we currently are. There will be an application process.
I think we said in one of these, didn't we?
Yeah, it's not. Don't worry, it's not intimidating. You don't have to like jump through hoops of fire and then somersault onto the table with your arm.
I don't know.
But what we want to do is basically make sure that the army's painted to a decent standard, that the person's comfortable on camera, because obviously if you don't like cameras or you're shy around cameras, that probably won't work, which is understandable. We are filming a show after all. So we'll probably do a simple application process, like you film your army on your phone.
Yeah.
you know, and tell us what's in your list, you know, that sort of jazz. And then once you've already been on, you've been established, then you know you can return in a much
sort of
more
counterintuitively, having a application process actually makes it a bit more open, weirdly, in that way, because you've got that structure in place.
So a few more questions rolling in now. So the Lion Sam, who is responsible for the interior design, logos, artwork we can see in your beautiful studio? And a second question, you cheeky devil. Are you all drama slash acting slash performance art folks, or just gifted with lovely personalities? No, that's nice.
That's kind.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right, well, I'll answer the first question. So who's responsible? Are you talking about things like on the banners,
I think
behind
just
us?
the stuff, the general
stuff.
visual ambiance.
So, right, old school story now. So the logo, the main logo, I mean, it sounds like a fake story, but it's actually true. I drew the logo on a napkin, literally, in a bar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was it a spoon?
This sounds totally made up.
Yeah.
I know, but it's the truth. I've actually still got it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I
still got it. I'm going to go find it in the loft now.
Frame it.
I drew it on was it a napkin? Or was it one of those little, like, complimentary note things? Anyway.
Like a beer mat?
Yeah. So I drew it, and I was like, right, I think a skull would be cool with the helmet. And to represent the hobby, like we'll have like a paintbrush, and then to represent like the gaming with the lists, you know, like writing lists, you got a pencil. Nice. And then the dice, well, obviously we roll sixes because it's tabletop tactics. So, you know.
I mean, I don't.
That was how that came about. And then I got a graphic designer to actually, you know, just tidy it up and make it look, you know, digitize it and make it actually look good. And then I've been working with a guy called Dave from Happy Thunder Studio. You can check him out on Instagram. We're mates now, really. We talk very often. He did a reimagining of the fantasy version of our logo and the apocalypse version of our logo. So the sort of sci-fi fantasy theme. And he's done lots of different things. He did Grotty for us. And then I've worked with other artists as well, which have done, you know, some of the special T-shirts that we've had. But yeah, I worked with a fair few artists, but the majority has been done by Dave. And then the second question was, are we all performers? Do you want to answer that?
So I'm not from a drama background. I am just generally dramatic, I think, is the issue. But no, I've been in bands and done that kind of stuff, which is, I guess, helps with the performance side of things. But I'm not. Certainly not.
You didn't go to drama school, did you?
No,
I mean, yeah,
you
have done performing with bands and music, which I mean, you know, it's all related. It's all obviously, I went to drama school for 3 years. That was that was my craft. That was what I trained to do. Beard, just a natural presenter. You know, mate. He's just a natural presenter.
You'll make me blush. Thank goodness I've got a camera on me.
I identified Beard and I was like, yeah, you're going to be good on camera.
I've definitely learnt a lot since the first. Yeah, if anyone wants to look at the very first few videos, you'll see how I started, and I've blossomed like a little flower bud.
Like a lotus, yeah.
So it's a mix of backgrounds, really.
Real mix, yeah.
Right, so moving on to a few more questions now. They're all rolling in. Again, just picking out a couple from the chat. A lot of people excited about Old World, which is very cool.
Very cool.
I'm glad, because so am I.
Give me my Bretonians back.
Yeah, I think we all just want Bretonians.
Turned into horrible vampires now.
It's a funny one because, like, I love what they've done with Sigmar, and I get why it was done, but it doesn't mean that I don't like the Old World any less. Like, you know, I'm really looking forward to the Old World. Like, we will definitely cover that as well, because why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So next question is from Henrik Falkenberg. Now, I'm not entirely sure I know what's going on here, but he says, "We are the Leagues of Votann. We are short. We bear marks. We ravage and pillage all bottom shells of all armories." I don't know if that's like a song, like, "We are the League of Votann. We are short. We bear marks. We ravage.
Should be their boarding song.
I like that.
You know, as they're about to breach an enemy vessel.
As a member of the Leagues of Votann, I have a question for you.
Oh yeah, go on.
Why did none of your armors have boots? Why is it like armor and then just socks?
That is a great question.
That is the question I want to know.
Is that a thing?
Like, you know, the guy, the like really cool model, like the leader guy, he's got this red armor, like helmet and axe. Armor, then just like little slippers. I don't know what that's about.
Very peculiar. Do you know what? I don't think I've noticed that. I'm gonna have to,
No one's got shoes on.
So a few more questions. We've got Strider Ragnarsson. I'm sorry, if that's your real name,
Wow.
you
name.
win.
Yeah.
Strider Ragnarsson. It sounds like maybe he can be a 13th Company Space Wolf character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
There you go.
Strider would like to see a Disciples of Be'lakor army. You could run them both 40k and Age of Sigmar, and I just really want to see Chef get his Be'lakor on. Well, funny you should mention that, Strider.
It's funny you
because
should
there
mention
might be
that.
a little Be'lakor video coming up very
Very
soon.
soon.
Your wish may be already granted.
And that Be'lakor is painted very nicely by our
Very
very own
nice.
Fletchers, so just stand by. Stu Gibson says, any plans to hit the tournament scene again in 2023? I'll be at the Gibraltar GT in April with the Night Lords.
Oh, wicked.
Cool. Hey
Very
Stu,
cool.
how are you? Yeah, I would like to make the Gib GT. I'm not. I actually have a ticket for it, but I'm not committed to 100% going yet. So I might release the ticket. It's kind of coming down to what sort of task this building of the studio will be. It's going to be a behemoth. A lot of my time is going to be taken, and has been taken for the last year, just trying to get
100%.
everything sorted, buying it. So that's what, when I'm sort of not on camera, I'm doing a lot of admin, boring stuff basically behind the scenes. It's not what I want to be doing, but someone has to do it, right?
Important bits.
The good news is once it is actually all done, I'll be a lot more free to just film much more regularly. Currently I'm getting to film once or twice a week, which is cool, but I'd like to do more if possible. So I don't know. I think April is a good possibility if we get into the studio by the end of this year. If we haven't got in by the end of this year, it would indicate something's taken much longer than we thought, or something's gone wrong. And then I don't know how much of the beginning of next year I'll be taken up with that. But tournament-wise, what I'm really keen to do, to be honest, is like we've got some really exciting things happening with the league, which will be revealed to you guys soon. Ways that you can play in it. Yeah, which, I just, is for me, I think it's revolutionary. Like if I'd had access to something like this, I would be all over it as a hobbyist.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool. It'll
cool.
make your games at home that much more exciting and mean something, I suppose,
Very cool.
So that's going to launch, and I'm kind of really, I'm really keen to be that sort of tournament organizer, to create something for the community to enjoy. And that's sort of what I'm focused on the most at the minute. And of course, our own internal league, which is, lots and lots of fun. But it will all blend in with our events. It's all coming together. The master plan
All
is
part of a plan, yeah.
it will be revealed soon.
Right, we've got a message from James who has retracted his message. So
Oh.
Okay.
thank you for
Hi, James.
thank you for your super chat, but I don't know what you want.
Okay.
Top James behaviour, that is.
Thank you.
Send another message, and if I can find it, I will read it out. Kai's back again with another 50 quid. Thank you, Kai.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kai.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kai says, do you think Nagash is the most evil character in all genres? Sidious comes in second for me. Penny for your thoughts.
Who comes in second?
Sidious?
Isn't
I don't know who
Sidious?
Sidious is.
Is it-
Sidious.
Isn't like Darth Sidious?
Yeah.
Like Star Wars?
Like
It's
Star
all
Wars.
genres.
Of all,
Oh, okay, yeah,
so
okay.
the most evil of all evils?
No, I mean, Nagash has got to be up there.
Like Cthulhu?
Well, yeah, but you know what?
all genres.
It's a funny one because Cthulhu
He's his
is
own thing.
alien.
He's not necessarily evil.
It's like are Tyranids evil?
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good
You
point.
know, are they evil or are they
Yeah.
just not bound by traditional morality?
Welcome
Because,
to our
they're
TED
just
Talk.
trying to consume and survive, right?
Yeah.
So
What is evil?
Nagash has got to be up there.
He's definitely up there.
He's got to be up there. But I mean, things like the Chaos Gods,
Yeah. But again, are they like the Tyranids? Are they just doing
they
what
are.
they do?
Yeah.
Is it more someone like, you're the people that fall to the temptation of the Chaos Gods? Does that make you more evil? Because you know it's wrong.
I mean,
you
Erebus
do it anyway.
was pretty evil.
Yeah.
Erebus was a guy.
There's some
Guy. No, Nagash has got to be up there for sure. Sidious, sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sauron?
Sauron, he was pretty power hungry,
He's
wasn't
pretty
he?
bad dude.
He had several million people die at his behest. So yeah.
He didn't
Yeah.
seem very chill, did he? Yeah.
We have a message from Max. How do, everyone?
How do?
Another congratulations in order. Would you be opposed to an update to the Tactica series? They were really helpful. I guess you mean Dragon,
Yeah.
young Maxwell.
Not opposed. I've written them. I've written them, and I've written them. It's actually taken. I won't lie. It took me a long time. In fact, it took me about 5 months to write them, to rewrite them, mainly because what I was trying to do with the new Dragon when I release it. I know Kai is interested in it as well. It will come out. It's just, please appreciate how busy I feel with everything else, and I'm sort of leading that series, so I'm going to film it. And it's going to be done in a really, really cool way. So if you've started watching our League series and you've seen some of the tactical breakdowns that we're doing throughout the game and at the end of it, the new Dragon series will be like that.
That'd be very cool.
But what I wanted to do was create something which should survive, should be relevant no matter what edition of the game you're playing, whether you're playing 7th or, GW changed editions. I wanted it to be, how do you play this miniature game tactically well? So
core tenets, basically.
Yeah, the core tenets. So some of it is, I suppose, perhaps a more universal. But I think when you complete the Dragon series, it's still a 6 series. You follow it, you'll be a much better player for it. It will make you good at any sort of game. It will be for 40k still specifically, and it should actually translate to Sigmar. I'm going to look at that, but I'm not a Sigmar expert yet, so I'll cover that bridge when it comes. Anyway, I've written it. I am going to film it very soon, and it will be released, as soon as it's done. So expect that 6-part series soon. Yeah.
Very nice. Patrick Barron, still waiting on your safety dance Bard.
Patrick, my man.
I appreciate your commitment.
I think, look, that is legendary commitment.
Yeah, it's good.
He's a dog with a bone.
I feel like it's now such a commitment to the bit. It has to maintain it being a bit. Oh, it will happen. It will happen at some point.
Well, you have to break at some point. You have to break at some point.
Martin Champion, the champion of all champions, possibly missed that. Probably missed that, but are you guys going to do any Warhammer or 40k RPGs? Would love to see an old world based campaign.
Oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Well, that we had the idea of The Thing. Which
we did, yeah.
The Thing is...
You don't speak of The Thing.
We can't speak more of The Thing.
You could easily create that in the 40k universe, actually.
Yeah.
You could. So it's funny you mentioned that, like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, 2nd edition. I've not played the new edition of it yet. My understanding is it is basically 2nd edition with a couple of tweaks, in which case I will love it. But honestly, 2nd edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is my favourite roleplay that I've ever played. In terms of a game system. The best roleplay doesn't matter about the system. It's about the people and the characters that you've created. And actually, and I say WFRP, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd edition is my favourite system. When we were playing it, we weren't even playing it in the old world. We just used it. I used it and put it in my world. But I would be dead keen to do that. It's the summary. It's the short and long of that. For now, we are running D&D next again because that is the most popular role-playing game in the world. So we're going to do that next. Doesn't mean that after that, I actually want to run my campaign next, and I may use the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay system.
That'd be cool.
Oh, don't tease me.
Yeah, I know, because it's your favourite as well, isn't it?
Out of all the, we never recorded it, but out of all of the ones that we've done together, that was by far the most immersive.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
There's something, and it's, I mean, truth be told, I've been working on my own campaign world and my own system for years behind the scenes, and I'll talk about that in the future when it's more ready. But I think as a system it works really, really well.
Nice.
Really well. Yeah.
Very cool.
Right, I'm just going to sort of try and rattle through some of these because they're all coming in again. So Henrik Falkenberg's been back in again.
Hello,
Falkenberg.
Just to clarify, could you imagine our smelly feet in boots? Then we would even scare Nurgle if we were throwing them. They're chemical bombs. I think he's talking about
the old Leagues of Bolts.
Yeah, fair play.
Thanks for clarification.
Yeah,
Good
thanks,
to know.
man. Yeah, cheers.
Good to know.
James Percival, who's going to run the Space Wolves? Also, congrats on the lodge. Can't wait to see bat reps from the new studio.
Thank you. Do you know what? I think it's going to be Fletcher that runs them.
Reckon?
He's been pining.
He really has. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the conversions because, as I said, I'll be involved, if not do a lot of them myself. I want to do something really unique. for them. I've got some clashes of heads here in the studio about the direction that I want to take. Some people are like, no, that won't work, mainly Chef. But actually, I think it could work really, really well. I'm going to try and Primaris them in terms of the scale.
Yes,
it doesn't mean that they are Primaris, you know. Like someone commented on YouTube. YouTube's a wonderful place sometimes. Someone commented on YouTube, like, I don't see Gabriel Seth, I just see a Primaris Marine with his chainsword. I'm like, okay, sure, but what I see is a true scale Seth. I mean, it's like if you look at Crow,
my boy.
Crow is much bigger than any of the firstborn range in the Grey
He's also on a rock as well, which helps.
Because the truth is, the firstborn range doesn't look right next to the Primaris range. You put them next, this is again just my opinion. They kind of just look wrong next to them. So you've either got to kind of go one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to up the scale of the 13th company because they would all still be firstborn, technically speaking, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next up, Edward Han.
Hello.
Hello, Edward.
Thank you for your £30, Edward Han. I'm
Thank
presuming
you
you know
very
this
much.
person.
Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine.
Dearest Bard, can
Brother!
you provide a full detailed review of the beers at Bugman's Bar?
A full detailed review of the beers at Bugman's Bar. Oh, we did try a few, didn't we? They were pretty tasty. They were good. The cherry one was a bit odd. I'm not sure if anyone's tried that one. Like the cherry porter, it's like two things at once. It doesn't
Okay.
The troll beer though was very, very tasty, as was the like Fire Slayer beer. I enjoyed that. Excellent. Great service.
Cheeky bit of Fire Slayer, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Brian Dambler's back. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly
Hello.
for the second time. In true Zinchian fashion, Chef should play 9 games as other factions till he plays demons. Kidding, but maybe not. The new promo video would be a good use of the new cameras, just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right. When we, I mean, I want to do like a whole new advert and stuff, especially when the new building's done. But you'll see like a lot of slick improvements in terms of our cinematography that just weren't possible with what we had before, which is now possible. So thank you again, because it's always want to put out the best quality, show that we can. But a lot of it just costs so much money. It's just so expensive. Like lenses are grossly expensive. Like they're more expensive than the cameras half the time.
And I think all of this, all of this energy and stuff just gets put back into making the stuff you guys love as good as it can be. That is
100%.
what we're dedicated to, making it the best it can be for you.
Yeah, like we're
lovely people.
about to upgrade our audio, and it's like
Oh yes.
I've got this above the ceiling, on the ceiling in our studio. There is like what I call the rig, which is like its own living entity.
A big mechanical
It's basically
spider.
Basically it is. Lots of aluminium poles and truss sort of system and lights hanging from it and like cabled coils. Something you'd expect to see like in an AdMech den or something. And like just to get to adjust the rigging and make the rigging to put these new microphones. This is not even for the microphones. Not even for the microphones, okay? But just to get the rigging together has cost nearly £2,000. Just basically in aluminium poles and truss networks and clips, because you have to clamp it all and make sure that it's safe. You don't want things dropping down on people. That's a no-no. So, it just all racks up. But, and those are the sort of things you can't invest in our day-to-day. We have salaries to pay. We have shows to produce.
We can't be paid in aluminium poles.
We have commissioned studios to paint. Everyone gets paid to do all of the work, everything you see on the channel. The artworks that gets done, the merchandise, that all costs money to produce. So again, massive thank you to everyone that's helped us with the lodge, because it wouldn't have been possible without you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Matthew Hoffman says, thanks for years of content. Love the new cast, new studio and future projects. Any chance we can see the Human Peanut return as a guest? We saw him for a beer yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, saw him for a beer.
Yeah. I also happened to have a beer with him over the weekend.
Yeah, it was funny. We actually, when Beard and I were sitting there, and he said like, he says he's not into the Warhams anymore. It's literally what he said. I'm not into the Warhams anymore. But he's just reading. He likes reading the Heresy novels. he doesn't have any plans on getting a new army or anything like that. You know, his gaming days, if you like, are over. You know, it doesn't mean that won't change in the future. People do come in and out of the hobby, don't they? That's right. Yeah, for now, like there's no plans for him to be a guest because he doesn't play. He doesn't even know the rules. So yeah.
Next comment. Kai's back again with another 50 quid. Thank you again.
Hi, legend.
Thank you.
Can you paint the 13th company Blanchitsu style? They've been in the warp for a while. Plus, the Chaos Girls are a bit scared of Nagash. Skaven!
Yeah.
I personally would love to see the 13th company done that kind of scheme.
Ooh,
because they've been in there for a bit. They've been microwaved, essentially.
Exactly. Well, look, it is Fletcher painting them, and we're not going to go for that, like, you know, the sort of grey blue that the traditional Space Tools are painted in. You know, I want to see that chaos influence.
Bit grisly.
Yeah, because in Codex Eye of Terror, like the 13th company actually have, you know, it's like some chaos armor on them, plates, not because they've fallen to chaos, but it's because if you've been away from the Imperium,
not being able to restock or anything.
Yeah, for thousands of years, you're having to take the equipment off of, you know, the chaos that you kill, right? So there's like this, it's really epic. So we want that like veterans of the Long War, but the good guys.
Style, yeah.
So yeah, expect a grim, dark sort of Blanchis Itsu take anyway.
I'm stoked.
James is back. I think it's a James that lost his comment to the warp. No idea what happened to my previous super chat. Love the videos. Just wondering if you've got any plans to branch out into some box games. Would love to see some Adeptus Titanicus love.
Yeah. You know, it's an undercover popular one, that, isn't it? Like
Titanicus, it's really taken off recently.
I hear lots of people bang on about it, and I go, "Oh, cool. Do you play?" And they're like, "No." Like, okay. It's really weird. Like, but lots there. There is this thing going around that it's an amazing game. I've never played it, and I would love to do some Titanicus, as well as some other games like Blood Bowl.
I think we do like Necromunda, Warcry. Necromunda, please! Yeah, it would be really fun to see stuff like that.
Those are the sorts of things we want to do like as a season, you know, like a show season. And that will be possible in the new studio. It's not possible here. We just don't have the space. We don't have the resource because we have to film our bread and butter battle reports to meet our customers' expectations for on demand, and to also keep releasing free content every week. You know, like we don't technically have to do that. You know, we could just go, all right, well, we're not going to release a battle report this week on YouTube, and that would make our life a lot easier, believe me. But we want to, you know, provide something back. So that's what we do. But it all takes time. It all takes time to produce. I'd also love to do things like Hero Quest.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'd love to do like, you know, like
that'd be so
you could do a 6-mission Hero Quest series, which would be epic. In summary, yes, in the future. The next show to come, though, will be the return of Casted Players.
Yes.
So you get that before you got anything else.
There's a lot of Pardo cultists in the chat.
Oh, cheeky Pardo cultists.
Pardo cultists.
Popping up, hashtag Pardo cult.
Yeah.
Young Maxwell's back.
I do.
He had a lore question for you, Lawrence.
Go for it.
Is the Archon in favour of... this is for your Spider Archon, actually.
Yeah.
Is the Spider in favour of Yvraine and the Ynnari, or does he side with Vect and the Homunculi Covens?
No, he's in favour of Yvraine and the Ynnari. So the Spider is an insidious character. Truth be told, when I first started the Void Spiders, I actually wanted them, so it was back in the time where Dukes Liscus was a thing, and originally the Dark Eldar were like sort of space pirate raiders.
Yeah.
Closer to Corsairs before the Phil Kelly Codex came out and they became really fleshed out with their fluff. And I actually originally wanted to do more of like a Corsair raiding force. And this was pre the Forge Worlds Corsair upgrade kits that they had, which I actually really loved. And then of course that army died. What a shame. It's a cool army concept.
Cool concept.
Like braces of pistols and stuff. I mean, that's epic. He was actually not necessarily truly evil Drukhari. I like to think of the Spider as someone who will use whatever methods he needs to get ahead. You know, like he's had a homunculus graft these extra limbs on to make him this terrifying combatant, but he also then got rid of that homunculus shortly afterwards. He doesn't actually like the Covens or trust them very much. So fluff-wise, he would be very much about reuniting the Eldari, as it were, under one banner, under the new god of death.
Patrick Barron
Very cool.
has been in touch twice.
Hello.
With the same question, I think. Well, not so much a question, more of a comment. And lots of ideas about the 13th in the chat as well. Use Age of Sigmar models, almost Primaris size. AOS? Oh, then he said AOD models. AOD? What would AOD be?
AOD?
Armies of Doom? I don't know.
Could you clarify?
Yeah, Patrick, clarify that for us. Don't worry about sending us another £2.
Yeah.
It's very, very kind of you.
Thank you.
But, just tell me what you think, and I'll
Is
read
this
it
in
out.
relation to what? The Space Wolves?
13th
or-
Company.
Okay.
I'm presuming. Also, quite a few people with the same idea, which is one that I had as well, actually. If you use the new Chaos Space Marine Legionnaires sculpt plus some 30k Mark 6 as a combination, so you could do like the legs and torso from the Legionnaires kit, and then use the arms, shoulders, and guns from the Mark 6 30k box. They
Okay.
fit together really nicely. They look kind of like old, but also they'd end up looking quite warp-stricken as well. So
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is very interesting.
Very cool.
Okay.
Also, lots of people that are up for Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blood Bowl will be
It's
fun.
fun, isn't it?
They'll be really fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew Hoffman's been back in touch again. Matt Hoffman is in like the BMX champion, or you just got a similar name? Is anyone going to take up the Dark Angels, and are there plans for 30k? I use Dark Angels a little bit, but I think you're thinking.
You've been using a lot.
I might run them soon, very soon. I might run them this week. There you go.
We've
Stay
got
tuned.
a pretty big Dark Angel army.
I love using the
truth
Dark
be told.
Angels. I think they're really cool.
Yeah.
They're really, really cool.
Yeah.
So yes.
Kai's been back in touch again.
There you go.
Good grief. Thank you, Kai, for another 50 quid.
Wow. Dude, thank you.
And if you were to run a Blood Bowl league, what team would you play?
Orcs.
Orcs.
That's my answer to most things these days.
Do you know what? That is a good question.
That is good, isn't it?
I mean, Beard, you would take the Chaos, wouldn't you?
Oh, you know what? I don't think I would.
Would you not?
Because I'm always Chaos guy, but I think Blood Bowl is designed to be much more fun. So I don't know. I quite like the idea of dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
the kit's awesome.
they've
as
got
well.
a serious handicap because they're so short.
Yeah.
So I kind of like the idea that they're playing what is essentially American Death Ball, but they're also very, very small.
Yeah.
So
See,
I'd probably go dwarves.
I think I would like the Chaos.
Well, you
in
go
Blood Bowl.
Chaos.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Is
I'd go
there
with Chaos.
a Grot army? I know I've seen Grot models, but I assume
I
they're
think
like
there's a Goblin
There's goblins.
Blood
Yeah.
Bowl team.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
yes.
Someone can clarify that. That would be.
Yeah, because
tremendous.
I know there's ogres and stuff as well, and I think there's a kit when one of them's gone to kick the ball, miss, and just kicked a
Yeah.
Grot, which is very
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Walker 4IB. Now, I think I might have mentioned Walker 4IB before. Anyway, it sounds like he sounds like a robot, but it's like
Walker
a
4IB.
certain mark of robot. He's like version 4IB.
Right.
It's like a special agent,
Yeah, it's like T100,
Right.
like a Terminator.
but it's Walker. Anyway, Walker says, let us know if you're a robot. Walker says, a Necromunda narrative season following a gang or named characters within a gang would be fantastic.
Yes.
I
Yes.
agree with you. I love the idea of doing that. I love the idea of us all making our own gangs and
Yes.
making them do stuff.
I was very dangerously close to buying some Necromunda stuff at the weekend, so
Were you?
Yeah.
it is a really fun
it'd be
game.
really cool.
It's a funny one. Like you couldn't. It's like filming the games. We sort of found it a bit like Kill Team. You couldn't just keep putting those reports out. I think it gets stale, after a while. I think, but if you do it as a season, like 6 or maybe 10 episodes of like a grow your own, campaign. And that's how we're going to be doing our narrative campaigns
Yes.
as well going forwards. Then I think it really works very well.
You could have you could have with the kill teams or something like this, you could have all the teams and they have like subs and stuff, but once characters die, they die.
Yeah.
So if a team is defeated, then they're no longer on the ship or planet or whatever.
Yeah.
So then that you'd get through to the ultimate winners.
Yeah.
Would be
Yeah,
cool.
which would be epic.
Very cool.
Next up, we have Jacob Askland.
Hello.
amazing work you guys are doing. You guys talk about trying other skirmish games. Infinity, the game by Corvus Belli, is probably the way too big and complicated to test, but just wondered if you guys know of it or your view on it.
Yeah, do know of it. I've never played it myself.
I've seen Infinity being played a couple of times at a gaming store. Yeah, it looks cool. It's
pretty cool.
It's not second edition 40k by any far stretch, but in terms of that skirmish scale, what 40k originally started out as back in the day, it's more akin to that. I like the action system seems to work quite well. Bear in mind, again, I have not played it, so I don't know if that falls apart quickly or not. But it felt like you always had something to do, whereas 40k is very much, I go and do everything, and you sit there and roll the dice, and then you can do everything. I mean, I never liked that as a game mechanic anyway. I always thought there should be more reaction involved. Obviously one person would have to move everything, otherwise you'll get this sort of
chasing each other.
Right? There are things which you would have a turn off, but in terms of activating shooting, I prefer like you shoot a unit, I shoot
alternate
a unit.
activations. Yeah.
But it looks great. I think the biggest issue we have with something like Infinity is, again, when you go into like a whole system like that, then you sort of need to get all of the different armies.
Yeah.
And then we'd need to get some terrain for it, because the 40k terrain doesn't really work, because they're more like sort of sci-fi.
So the aesthetics quite different,
aesthetics going on. And it just becomes the time to produce it. So our next game system that we've committed to is, of course, Age of Sigmar, but that will also help us when Old World comes out, because a lot of that terrain and everything that we invest in will, of course, I assume, be cross-compatible. So, yeah.
Right, so we've got about 10 minutes left roughly before we need to jet off and do other things. So just one for you quickly, Bard. Someone let you know that Black Orcs, Goblins and Snotlings are all valid teams.
Fantastic.
Nice.
All under the green skin banner in Blood Bowl, so that's good to know. We should also mention once again that now we've gone over our 140k. What is the word I'm trying to think of? Lodge
target.
Target. Thank you. Let us know if you guys want us to sort of poll out the next army, next secret army. If you want us to choose, please let us know. But if you want to sort of have it go out to the community, let us know in the comments. And if you want anything read out now in the next 10 minutes, just jump on the super chat and I will do my best to get through it. Oh, here they come. So Patrick Barron's back once again. Also AOD is Age of Darkness. Someone has clarified that. So Age of Darkness being the new Heresy box.
Oh, right. I was like, what?
Yeah, that makes sense.
For the Space Wolves.
That's really cool. That'd be cool.
It is a good suggestion.
Use the bodies from the AOD kit with Sigmar.
If you want to get that relic armor in, okay.
That's very cool.
Okay, it's a good idea.
So Patrick Barron is back once again. Thank you again, Patrick, for your kind donation.
Thank you, Patrick.
Wanting to know if we've ever played the Inquisitor RPG or Age of Darkness.
Yeah.
Is that the one that has the slightly bigger scale?
Yeah. Did you ever play?
No, because that's where the big Eisenhorn model's
that's
from.
right. Yeah.
And it's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Just a weird scale.
It was amazing. So it was a cross between an RPG and like a skirmish game. The models were actually really cool.
Oh, amazing.
They might not hold, some of them weren't great. Some of the sculpts, again, just my opinion, were not great, like really badly done. But some were incredible. And the game itself was, kind of like a cross between a role-playing game and a skirmish game. They actually released some larger terrain pieces for it. This is all like out of print stuff now.
Yeah.
I believe that's where Captain Artemis first appeared.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, and his model was one of the better ones out of the Inquisitor range. Yeah, I remember I actually played it once or twice. I started to get some models for it that I was going to and then it was conversion opportunity as well, like as you got more experience, you could change weapons and stuff.
Really cool.
It was really cool.
That's really cool.
I don't know why it stopped, because actually I remember back when I used to work in Games Workshop, there were lots of people that were coming in playing it. So it was very popular, because it was also one of those games which is like a role-playing game, cheaper to get into, like these days.
The barrier to entry is quite low.
Like these days you buy a Warhammer army and you want to by Gaming Army, you know, you're looking at a £700 investment. Yeah. Let's be realistic for, you know, 2,000 to 2,500 points. Obviously, some armies come in cheaper than that if they're super elite, but actually, it is around £700 of plastic kits. So that's a lot of money. I think that's a lot of money.
Big old investment.
Whereas Inquisitor, you'd buy your one model, you'd get the rulebook.
Do you reckon it was the just the scale like killed it almost?
I don't know. I'm actually curious. Like, obviously, I think from a business point of view, Games Workshop must have decided that they didn't want to continue producing this. But I think a lot of their specialist games back then, like things like Battlefleet Gothic, which was an incredible game.
Yeah.
And even what was the big game that Phil Kelly did? Dread Fleet, which is basically the updated version of Manowar, which is also incredible.
Yeah.
This is like fantasy battle, naval battles, and the ships and models were really cool. For some reason, it flopped, but it was like a really, really good game. I don't know. Some things just, they don't take off, right?
I'd love to see a new Space Hulk as well and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
classics.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Johnny Craig. Big Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Johnny Craig is an old viewer and has returned. I'm just going to read it out rather than doing it in the third person. I'm an old viewer returned, and I'm loving the direction you guys are going in. Keep it up. What would Guard need to be competitive, in your opinion?
Well, first of all, Johnny, thanks for coming back.
Yeah.
Really
Welcome back.
Welcome. Your support.
Tally ho, Imperial Guard.
Appreciated. They're in a tough spot because of 9th edition in general. Basically, they're a book which has just been left further and further and further behind because, hello, welcome to Codex Power Creep. It is a thing.
Wait.
The FAQs, sorry.
I was going to say that, so there's still some things you can do to put a little bit of spice in with the old Guard.
There is. They do actually have some cool tricks.
Like Hammer of the Emperor on a Punisher Gatling cannon is no joke.
Yeah, Manticores are still good. They're still really good. The Scions are actually really interesting, especially if you went down a pure Scions path. But you can actually use them to complement an Alpha Strike your opponent, you know, with plasma bombs or melter bombs and so forth. But this is always the struggle, right? I don't know what the theme of your army is. Maybe you don't want to have Tempestus Scions on your force. Maybe you want to go pure Cadia or Catachan or whatever you're doing. You know, I would try, especially in 9th, I would try and lean into your ignore line of sight weaponry. Unfortunately, it's not as good as it used to be, but it is one of the advantages you have, and you just have to rely on weight of fire.
I reckon Temps on vehicles now as well, so you can make some of your tanks really resilient.
Yeah, the Leman Russ are decent. Demolishers are still really good. That's probably my go-to tank. Yeah. And I would always, this is the one thing which I think you sort of have to have in a competitive Guard army. And look, I'm prepared to be slain by loads of Guard players that go, no, you're wrong, you don't know anything about Guard. I would always have a blob of 9 Bullgrin.
There we go.
I think you need the combat defense in 9th. There are too many scary, fast combat armies out there.
They're a good speed.
You need a counter to help protect and screen your forces.
Next question. Wouldn't you know it? Kai's been back in touch again with another 50 quid.
Kai.
Thank you, Kai.
Wow, Kai, amazing.
Dude, thank you.
Very kind. When 10th edition arrives, should there be a hard reset, and what would you like to see? Maybe alternating actions?
Well, okay.
You just interesting a little bit.
I mean, I would love to see alternating actions. Do I think there should be a hard reset? Oh God, I'm probably going to be flamed for this. In my opinion, yes.
It'd be nice.
In my opinion, yes, there should be a hard reset, and I'll tell you why. Obviously, I could do a whole video on this as to why I think it's a good idea, and I know that there will be probably so many people that would be upset saying 9th is the most balanced version of the game ever. And look, you know what? In a funny way, you're right. You're right, because there are more FAQs more frequently than ever. Like a GW is in one of those horrible positions that almost whatever they do will never be good enough. It will never be good enough. You know, we have FAQs more regularly than ever. They do address some of the really obnoxious things. Do they get it right all the time? No. Are Tyranids still incredibly busted?
Yes.
You know, should they have addressed it in the last FAQ? Yes. Yeah. Did they? No. It is what it is, right? But they are addressing it more regularly. Yeah, and you know, I'm coming from an era as an old school player where you'd be lucky if you got a codex every 3 years.
Yeah.
Lucky. Sometimes you would wait 5. You know, so like we are in a really good spot. But I also have the perspective of what the game used to play like through different editions, what didn't work. and what did work. And for me, ninth as a concept, I mean, sort of building on eighth, wasn't it really? Ninth, you know, the missions and the sort of more simplified approach was a beautiful thing. And I was super excited about it at first. But then what happened is the codexes and then the GT packs brought in more and more complexity to the point now where I'm flipping through a book, you know, 4 or 5 pages of stratagems to find one thing, psychic powers, multiple warlord traits, Sergeant has this relic, It's, for me, it's too much, and it takes away from the enjoyment and the accessibility of the game, especially if you're newer to the game.
Yeah,
the game should
sure.
be easy to play, or easy to learn, but hard to master. So yeah, I would vote for a hard reset. That's my take on it. You know, hate me, love me. That's my take on it. I know we have some more questions.
Cordial, I'm very sorry I missed your comment, Cordial. My screen's a bit jumpy and you went away. Cordial said, might have missed it, but any plans for Kill Team? I'd love to see some of that.
I'd love to do some
Yeah.
Team.
Yes, it will be. That will be sort of covered again. Like we'd do it as like its own series, along with some of the other box games. Again, it won't happen until we move to the new studio. But yeah, in summary, because of course, Kill Team is something we can probably easily do. So
Yeah, just got to play models.
Right, I'm just going to rattle through the last few of these before we depart this realm. Dylan Fisher, I would love to see some sort of cast of players in the 40k setting. Maybe in a Space Hulk thing. Keep knocking everything out of the park, guys. You rock.
Very
well,
cool.
thank you, Dylan, and your support is much appreciated. Hopefully he doesn't mind me shouting him out, but Dylan actually is the one that gave us the incredible Imperial Fist armor we've got.
Oh, wow, thank you.
We will be
Yes.
we will be adding to shortly, actually. Fletcher's going to do some bits.
Nice.
But yes, I mean, Dylan and I have spoken privately as well. We've got some very, very cool ideas that he's going to help us out with to perhaps make things like Space Hulk a reality. But yes, expect those things in the future.
Very good. We then have Walker's back.
Hello.
I knew it. Walker says, beep boop, error. Here's an android.
We knew it.
He says, Blood Bowl has a model and rules for a goblin with a chainsaw. Are you sold yet?
A chainsaw?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All in.
Yes, actually.
Let's go.
Patrick Barron.
Hello.
140k! Looking forward to the future of tabletop tactics and the safety dance. Might have to renew my membership. You guys are ace and I love the new crew.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And the final comment, which we may not have an answer for, Exomnia says, are you guys excited about the new 1D&D announcement? Do you know what that is?
Oh, is this for Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Right. So I'm aware of the announcement, but I don't know what it is yet. It's come up on my feed a couple of times.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know what it is. Would you be able to just give me a brief highlight? I'm guessing.
Any insider info?
Is it a new way to play, like playing online? Or?
According to D&D, this is a play. Oh, it looks like a new thing. Shape the future of Dungeons and Dragons. Ooh. We're building the next generation of Dungeons and Dragons, and we need your help refining it. Download the 1D&D playtest materials, give them a read, or try them out in your home game, and then provide some feedback here. So it looks like a new edition coming in 2024.
Oh, cool.
Okay, interesting.
Very cool.
So they're putting out the playtesting to the community. That's a great idea.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I think the open D20 system is still a thing as well, where basically D&D created the D20 system, and you can actually, as a role-playing writer, you can actually just use the
cool.
general system and
build
apply
up
it to your own game. Yeah,
very cool.
Like Pathfinder uses that, for example. Yeah, no, I think it's really cool. It's exciting. I just don't have the time to participate in it. Although in theory, we could run the next campaign using those rules.
Well, from the quick flick I've done, apparently it's going to be backwards compatible with 5th. So
yeah,
it looks like a refined version.
Yeah.
So one more thing. Oh, Exomni is back already. Oh, thank you. £50 for Exomni. That's very kind.
Oh, thank you.
Another chunk that hopefully finds its way to the flip-flop wearing space dwarves. Also, if you need anyone to run your bar and lock up, open a new place out of hours, winky face. Thank you. That's very kind.
They do look like flip-flops. That is spot on.
Unless they're on Leagues of Votan. And that's it.
Okay.
Sorry. Koranis has been in touch. Koranis, the Lord of Death.
Nice.
I presume.
Epic name.
What are your favourite Age of Sigmar rules compared to 40k? This will be the last question.
I love that damage spills over.
Yeah.
It makes big nasties be big and nasty.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, I'm going to 10 guardsmen, now you're trapped.
Yeah.
It's like, no, one weapon will just kill all 10 of them.
I know what you
like
mean.
that lot.
It feels very Sauron-esque at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, doesn't it? I do like that. I've often thought, mused over, would that work in 40k? A las cannon cutting through 3 guardsmen at once, sort of thing. And part of me goes, yeah, it could actually.
When you say it out loud, it's like, ooh.
It could work. Obviously, everything would need to be changed.
Yes, that would be a dramatic change. Yeah.
It's funny because I used to play Warhammer Fantasy, whereas I think myself and Chef are the only ones here that actually did used to play. So we have like that always, comparison going on. There are things about it I absolutely love. There are things that I miss about Warhammer Fantasy. Like I've already sort of touched on the regiments and the moving aspect of the game. I think, do you know what I like the most about it is how quickly it plays. Now, weirdly, it also does get bogged down because combat. But it plays much quicker than 40k in my limited experience so far.
What, Sigmar in general?
Yes,
Yeah.
And it's much easier to build a force and to get going. And once you're in, there's a lot less admin. Ninth is really bogged down in lots of special rules and overlapping auras, and this is now buffing this, and this is doing a super buff here, and it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! You've activated my trap card. For me, actually, that takes away from the immersion of the game half the time, and also just getting the game done. Because even if you're doing, if for the competitive community that want to make like 40k like an esport, in order to be a successful commercial esport, the game needs to play quickly.
Rapid, yeah.
So it's kind of got, there's like it's a conundrum there.
Yeah.
I think I love the speed and the accessibility of it, the jumping into it quickly, and I love that big monsters actually do
cool.
big things.
stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then one last £50 from Kai.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
And he says, I've just blown my super chat budget for the month. You owe me a pint.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
And then some.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Well, that is it for the chat, and that is all from us.
Goodbye for now. Thank you so much. We'll see you in another live stream and more shows very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.